Boom. Yeah,
I love the intro, man. Honestly.
Come on.
Hello and welcome to the 3inMidfield podcast, the podcast where three friends, that's fleeting, who had dreams of being professional footballers, dashed away as children when they all discovered food, have their say on the Premier League. It's a bit meh today, isn't it?
Why is it meh?
The sun isn't shining.
Not for
the
me.
Birds are screaming. North London is white. It's a disgrace.
Hold on, wait. What did you just say?
Wow. Even I don't think that, but
It's
right.
not, but
It's what happens to you in the relegation zone. That's how you feel.
That's what I want to say. I don't believe it. I just want to say, just to get something back at Arsenal. You know, I can't deal with it. They stress me out. They stress me out, Kojo. The ever-present Coach Kojo.
But you said no. You.
Bro, hold on. This is how I feel. This is how Arsenal makes me feel. Let me just get it up. Ever-present Coach Kojo, how you doing, sir? I'll get what I'm feeling up.
I mean, I'm good, but I'm flabbergasted. Did you just use the words North London is white?
Yeah. This is how Arsenal make me feel. As long as that goes. And we're talking to other people. Benji, how you doing, sir?
Benji's got that Ghana connection.
That Ghana connection is strong. Jack, how you doing?
Yeah. Good. It's the first time I've been here. Been here in a while, and it's probably the first time in even longer that I'm actually smiling and
Top of the league,
coming after a W. So, man, I'm all right. I'm all right. Measured, but all right.
Measured. This is how Arsenal make me feel, by the way. That's how Arsenal make me feel. Anyway. Let's get into Monday. Was it Friday? Was the game? We did commentary on it, Coach. That was a smart decision, wasn't it? We were trying to be as unbiased as possible, and then, boy, is that Ashley? Bloody
Even
hell.
Ashley Best is saying I don't blame Kill for that.
Wow.
What is happening?
There's no. He's got time for excuses now.
Yeah. Wow.
It's Arsenal. No, let's get it right. Brentford 2, Arsenal 0 is the score. That's the game we're talking about. Goals from Sergi Canos and Christian Norgard, and what goals they were! Mistake after mistake. Goalkeeper's getting beat at the near post like he usually does, but he's somehow number one. And Arsenal reverting to 2008 when Stoke and Rory Delap used to lob the ball long all the way into the box and just completely missing it and letting Norgard get the header. I was gonna say Oliver, but his name's Christian. I'm tired. Coach, take over in it. Ask some questions in it because I ain't bothered with this team anymore.
Where do I even begin?
Where do you begin?
We've even got Ashley Best stressed. Man said, let me not join this before I shut it down, bro. All you gotta do is let me know and I'll send you the link and you can come and you can say what you want to say. Firstly, I'll say well done to Brentford. First game in the Premier League, 3 points in the bag. They did what they had to do. I think they did their homework on the weaknesses of Arsenal because they play the brand of football that they don't usually play. But that's the thing about them, they're tactically flexible. They can play long balls, short balls. They can play in between the lines instead of passing or just playing it long towards the target man, trying to see if they can knock off on that. They knew Arsenal's weaknesses was aerial balls. Tony versus Ben White is a mismatch. Ben White, man, is against most defenders and players in general in the air is a mismatch anyway. He was lower than every Arsenal defender last season in terms of winning aerial battles. So they just did what they had to do.
including Rob Holding, including Bellerin, including Tierney, who's 5'6", I don't know how tall he is, including Gabriel, including David Luiz, who's not known for his defensive capabilities. But hey ho, that's who we spent £50 million sterling on. Continue, coach.
Yeah, with that being said, I just, as much as I want to praise Brentford for deserved to win and deserve 3 points, is Arsenal have not learned a damn thing. And they've had, what, 4 man? Wenger, they were declining. Emery, they didn't learn. Ljungberg, for however long he was there, they didn't learn. And now Arteta's been there and they still haven't learned. It's the same old, same old. The fact that you guys are conceding goals like that with long throws to this day, yeah? At this point, the excuses have run out. The club is in trouble, man. And I can't lie to you. I don't know which manager's going to save you. We're hearing that you guys are going after what's his name, James Maddison.
Okay.
I know you go after James Maddison. I don't know what that transfer is for. You've given someone.
That's what that transfer.
No, you do, but well, that's saying you've got a defensive problem as well. But how many times are you going to try and fix that defense anyway before you just give up? So look, I don't know what's next for you guys, because your next 2 games are Jack knows how to beat Man City, innit? So you, man, need to just turn up and do your thing. So 2-0, Brentford, well deserved, did their homework.
There's a comment in there that made me smile a bit. Maybe you'll find it, Kojo. No, not that one. The one right below it. That's the one that makes me laugh. So anything that can make me laugh, well, it deserves to be put up there. But anyway, let's talk about from an outside looking in.
Yusuf.
Outside looking in, Jack. What happened?
It was. Do you know what's funny? This is. I think Kojo said it in another pod. This was expected. This wasn't a surprise. This kind of result is a quintessential Arsenal away scrappy result. That's what happened. And how many people are surprised that you lost that 2-0 against Brentford away? How many people are surprised you're going to, in this particular type of game, cold, windy Friday night, it just typifies what Arsenal have been for the... When did Stoke come in the Premier League? 13 years ago? Yeah, something like that. It just typifies that. And yeah, that's what happened. And can I say, Mbeumo, great performance. Absolutely brilliant performance. The way he spun your centre backs. There was that one chance he had. He should have buried it.
He should have scored. He should have scored that one. Both of them at the same time. That's the thing that triggers me the most. Both of them decided to go the wrong way. In 2 touches, he took 2 touches and sent both defenders the wrong way. Like, come on now, you can't let players who played in the Championship just a year ago do that to you, especially if you're a defender, a defender for a team like Arsenal. But I don't know what like Arsenal even means. For me, this game was perfect for Brentford because Arsenal aren't the biggest scalp anymore, but they're still a scalp, and so for them to get the win on their opening day with their new fans in the stadium, which I think this is the first time all the fans are in that stadium because of COVID. For them to win, it's a massive occasion, and I completely commend them. They played really well, but Arsenal, man, I think nothing. I think everything that typifies Arsenal's performance is Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka tells the fans to fuck off. Arteta tries to bring him back. Apparently, saves his career. He's meant to be rejuvenated. Puts in a performance like that, but is also given a captain's armband. So the team, oh my god, the teams at 6s and 7s, nothing makes sense. But Benji, if you can, I don't know about that connection. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, no, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I get it what everyone's saying, but for me personally, I think it was one of the hardest fixtures you could have ever had, to be fair, because they haven't played in the Premier League before. New stadium, You know how it is. Get the pies in, get the beers in. They're all pumped for it. And I just don't think Arsenal were ready for the game. And is what happens season after season after season. Like, if you want to laugh, just watch the last 4 AFTV opening interviews when they lost against Aston Villa, they lost against Liverpool, and I can't remember who else they've lost in the opening game of the season. They're never ready for the season. And what it is that because the Premier League is so strong, there's no way for them to come back and lose 10 games and come back and get the top 4. You have to be on point. And the midfield just epitomizes everything for me personally. You can't go into obviously we have Fred and Mctominay, but at least Mctominay will show a bit of heart, a bit of desire, getting a bit of a tackle. Tottenham have Skip and whoever. At least Skip gets about the pitch. Xhaka doesn't get about the pitch at all, and he's supposed to be our most experienced player on the pitch, but he was just hiding. And I feel like you're in for a long season, and you're playing Man City and Chelsea next week. You just have to hope that De Bruyne is not fit and Lukaku's not ready to go from the start. But I do feel like Arsenal will struggle to finish in the top 10.
But what you said about Xhaka there, he does run about for Switzerland. He moves. He's more up the pitch. He's further up the pitch.
He plays number 10. It's like pro clubs.
But he does come back and drop a lot deeper as well when he plays for Switzerland. So he does both roles. So why isn't he doing both roles at Arsenal? Why are 3 different managers not seeing that?
That's a good question. No, it's not just different managers. It's the entire club, the fans as well that choose to back this man. For me, it's a personal choice now to not play with that intensity, with that quality for Arsenal. If he does that for Switzerland every 3 days in an international tournament and on international duty, there's no reason why he can't play with that intensity when he's putting an Arsenal shirt. So for me, it's a choice. It's a personal choice for him.
But do you think so? If he's playing in a different role for Switzerland and he's executing himself well, do you think it's a case of putting him in that same situation that Arsenal will change things up? Because I don't know what your best formation is in the first place.
No, but are we saying Granit Xhaka is a Premier League quality box-to-box midfielder?
He's I think he is.
I don't think he is.
But I think he is, but he's not. I don't think Arsenal's the right place for him to be at. And when I say yeah, exactly. So when I say that is, regardless of moving aside completely from the whole incident where you're telling the fans to go screw themselves or whatever I was telling them.
Fuck off, bruv. Let's get it right.
Or F off. I genuinely think he just needs to be alongside a different type of midfield. I don't know. I don't think Partey works well with him. I don't think Nene works well with him. I don't think Willock would have worked well with him. I don't think Maitland-Niles worked well with him. That is a problem with him because how many man can you have partner with you don't work? But somehow at Switzerland it works. Maybe it might be that whole you're a leader / you have a free roam thing because he's their best midfielder by a mile. That might be what it is. That might be what his role is there. That's why maybe he plays a little bit better.
He was the leader at Arsenal.
But I don't know if he's got that same free role at Arsenal.
But we all know. Let's not get bogged down in Granit Xhaka. I'm tired of talking about Granit Xhaka. It's been 5 years. Ever since he's come here, we're not finished in the Champions League places. So Granit Xhaka needs to bounce. He wasn't even a worst player, but he just annoys me. And it is, if your main fielder annoys you, then what's the point? What's the point anymore? Anyway, let's move on because I'm getting tired of talking about Arsenal. Well done, Brentford. Well done, Brentford. Let's move on to Saturday. Where should we go first? Manchester United, Kojo?
Go on then, why not? Let's do it.
5-1. Manchester United beating Leeds. Goals from Fernandes, Mason Greenwood, Fernandes again, and Fred.
Yeah.
Did that performance in any way surprise you from Fernandes and Pogba, to be honest, with 4 assists?
No, it didn't surprise me, but because we beat Leeds, 6-2 was it last year? So I knew that we're always capable of beating them again, but I feel like this performance was a lot more better. I feel it was a lot more assertive. And what I liked about it was as soon as they scored, we were back on the front foot. We scored straight away again. So there was no rest period for them. There was no, exactly. Come on, bro. there was no time for Leeds to rest and try and get into a groove. They scored a beautiful goal. That strike was superb. So they had every bit of energy running through them. We killed it off in an instant. The pass from Pogba to Van Greenwood was Bellissimo. So, good performance, good start, but the Leeds are, and quite frankly, not every game is going to be like that. United fancy to relax. I know we're getting gas. Sancho didn't start, Varane didn't start. I'm not going to say the other guy's name. You know what I'm talking about. He didn't start. Rashford will come back from injury eventually. So the numbers will be there. There'll be more depth. There'll be more quality. But it's a good start. Very good start. 5-1, can't complain. And my boy got 4 assists. He's not even £100 million, and he did it. So, certain man. Time's ticking, fam. I want to see 4 assists in the next game. You know what I'm saying?
Benji, is it 21 and 22?
Yeah, no, let's not get carried away. But the two players that I really want to talk about is Fred and McTominay. It'll be interesting to see their roles for the season because they get the most slack from Manchester United fans, but they're also 2 of our most pivotal and important players in the midfield. A lot of people always talking about, I want to have Pogba and Matic in centre mid or Van der Beek and whatnot. But at the same time, I also feel like Fred and McTominay give us the platform to allow Luke Shaw to get in the attack, to allow Bruno Fernandes not to have to drop back a lot. And obviously Wan-Bissaka, when he falls that once every 5 games, going up on the attack as well. I just feel like Manchester United, the problem with Manchester United, we won't know our starting 11 until December because the team is so stacked. It's hard to pick a starting 11. Like, I will not have the same starting 11 as Kojo, personally. Maybe I will, but I doubt it. We need to find out where Pogba's going to play as well, which is very important. But my main thing is how we can beat the teams with the low blocks this season, especially at Old Trafford. We need a better record at Old Trafford because last year we lost 6 games at home and we lost 0 away. So if we can sort ourselves out, I feel like we can really, really push for second this year. Because I think first might just be out of reach, but second for us is very, very attainable.
I'll see, Jack. What a lot of fans of other clubs, including ours as well, have been talking. They've been talking about Chelsea and the fact that they spent so much money on Lukaku that they have no excuse. They have no excuse not to believe that their club is in the running for the Premier League title. Manchester United, I've spent quite a lot of money as well this season. They bought in a lot of big players: Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho. So why
just 2, not a lot, just 2.
Tom Heaton.
Tom Heaton, okay, Tom Heaton as well, but that's still a lot of money spent. That's 100 million. So what is it? It's like 35 and then 72 on Jadon Sancho.
Just about 100. Just about 100.
So there you go. It's 100 plus million. They have a very stacked team. They have 2 quality midfielders in Pogba and Fernandes. Edinson Cavani's there. David De Gea is there. Harry Maguire is there. So why can't they demand a league title from their club? Or why are they too shy to demand a league title from their club?
I think it's quite simple. They've got 2 clubs that are in stronger positions than them, that have healthier squads, I think. Whilst Rafa Varane and Sancho, top signings, I still think in midfield, you still got some, in that defensive midfield position, you need someone that's probably facilitates the game of both Pogba and Bruno a bit more. And I think, up front, I don't think, I think Cavani will get you double figures, but I think you need more than that to get you that title, to take you, that next level.
I don't think any striker scored triple figures. No, I'm only joking.
Hey. But I think Chelsea, they've got top 3 striker in the world, Lukaku. He's definitely in the top 3 for me, and that's definitely to be European champions, to add that level of quality to your squad, they're definitely going to be challenges. And United fixed certain issues that would have probably won them the title or given themselves a good title challenge last season, but this season is a different animal. You've seen the way teams have started on, the top teams on fire, apart from City, who were slow starters last season. So we'll see, the jury's out on that one. So I think the top teams will be much more consistent because I think they've strengthened, as opposed to last season, which not only was a bit of a inconsistent one in terms of how teams performed every week, because it was just all over the place last season. But also, they're not playing 2 games a week. The fixes are sort of back to normal now. Fans are back as well. I think that definitely had an influence on even our performance, which we'll get to. in terms of the pressing and the work rate of teams as well, and getting players up for it again. So it's going to be much more closer to normal than it was last season, I'll say.
Okay, I just want to add, if I can, in terms of like what Jack is saying, especially with the two teams like Chelsea and what's the other team, Man City. If Man City do manage to get Harry Kane, I do really think it'll be hard for a lot of us teams, like the normal teams, like Man United and Co, to actually catch up. Because Man City, if you look at the team, they're strong in every single area apart from the striker. If they can get somebody that can get them, even if Harry Kane has one leg in that Man City team, you have more people to create chances. So he would definitely get 30 goals a season. Manchester United don't have a 30 goal season striker. Chelsea, we don't know if they have a 30 goal season striker. And Liverpool, they'll definitely get 20 goals from Salah. The problem is that a lot of teams like us and Chelsea, we can't kill off teams. It'll be interesting to see if we're able to do that. Man City, the reason why they're so good is they can kill any team off 6-0 on their day, but we can't do that. So it's like, after 5 games, I'm sure I'll be watching you lot show to see what's happening. But I still do feel like other clubs have a stronger team. And obviously with Van Dijk coming back as well, Liverpool are also in the mix for that title challenge as well, personally.
Let's move over.
Hold on. Sorry. Just for 1 second. We will have to go back to Arsenal for just a minute because we've had a drop in. I'm sorry. But he was asking me to come on. I said, all right, let me get him on.
Ramsdale fan or something? Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have someone else in the comments that even agreed with Kale earlier. He's top straight in the party. Mr. Ashley Best is in the building, shaking his head already. How you doing, bro, firstly?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Can you hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we can.
Perfectly.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you very much. How are you all doing today?
Good. I'm all right.
Can't complain.
Yeah. No.
So what is it you wanted to say, but Mr. Best?
Go on, sir.
It's quite simple. It's just trash, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I slightly turned off the game once that throw-in went in. It just reminded me of that. What's his name? The lad that he used to do against us. How can you not defend that? It's just simple, you know what I mean? The problem with Arsenal, I just think they just need to go back to basics. I think they're just trying a bit too hard. That's the problem, you know.
No, we are not.
No. The thing is, it's like Arsenal are trying to play the Arsenal way, but it's like they're just not penetrating teams that they used to. That's the problem I'm facing with them. You know what I mean? It's like just shoot outside the box.
What's the Arsenal way for us that don't know, please?
If you look back, it's like yes, pass, but they knew how to penetrate through teams. That's the thing. So they knew how to create and penetrate through teams and actually shoot on sight. The problem with Arsenal, this Arsenal team now, it's like every single time they just looking for that perfect goal. Every single minute, it's like when you got the space, just shoot. You know what I mean? Give the defense, because every team knows Arsenal's not going to shoot outside the box, so they're just going to hold their ground. They're just going to hold their shape. You see what I mean? So hold their shape. They pass it out to the wide. Once they pass it out wide, the ball's going to come back to the defenders, and then they can just knock it out. Simple. If Arsenal start shooting from outside the box, what it does, it gradually gets the defense to push forward. That way, it creates space for the forwards to then run in. It's just quite simple, actually.
Do you think it's because some of your players lack the? I'm thinking about players that can shoot from outside the box, like have proof. The only one I can think of is Granit Xhaka. He's the only one that, because when he hits a ball clean, it's a rifle. He smacks it with spin. But is there anyone else that has that in the team? Maybe,
no. All right. No, I hear what you're saying. That's true what you're saying. All right. It's unfortunate that Partey cannot do it for some odd reason. All right. But
listen, I can tell you from first-hand experience as a Ghanaian, he cannot do it.
It's just unfortunate, you know what I mean? And he's got a powerful shot on him. It's just lack of accuracy, you know what I mean? I think the problem.
I think that's focused on staying fit.
Wait, what?
He said something about flip-flops or something. I don't know, but
I said he has to focus on staying fit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he shoots like he has flip-flops on anyway. So,
but I think my thing is that Arsenal just lack goal-scoring midfielders. That's just
We
it.
had one in Joe Willock and we sent him back to Newcastle.
Exactly. You know,
You're lacking goal scoring forwards. If you're being real, but Aubameyang, like I say, ain't bagging. Let's be real.
I mean, let's talk about that situation as well. Ashley, Lacazette, and Aubameyang both come down with this mystery illness, which still hasn't been explained. And then a few days after, they're both on the chopping block, with Arsenal offering them to Inter Milan and Barcelona. And if you want money from some teams for big players, going to both teams that are broke right now isn't the smartest smart decision.
No.
What do you think?
But this is Arsenal we're talking about here, though.
This
is Arsenal.
Is it
Right.
an illness, or I've been hearing that they both have had a falling out with Mikel Arteta. So, what's your thoughts on that story?
To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised. I just wouldn't be surprised if they had a falling out with Arteta. But as you said, you know, two teams that's coming in for them and they're both broke. Obviously, what's going to happen is that those teams are going to try and look for a loan deal with initial to buy. You know what I mean? And Arsenal, as dumb as they are, will actually take it just to get rid of him. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans who's like, nah, they want like one of them to stay and one of them to go, and then we've got some of them is like, nah, dash them both out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Arsenal just seem to have problems every damn season.
What would you do with those two? Because me personally, I'm telling you right now, sometimes in football we gotta let a man just go. See the picture before, because I remember Vieira had a fantastic year and then out of nowhere he was being sold because Wenger realized the time was up. Yes, Wenger had his faults in general, but we saw what happened to Vieira when he left Arsenal. That was not the same Vieira that went to Italy. He was done. His time was up. Is it a case of letting these men go? Because look at Aubameyang. I know he's been playing left wing and he's Arsenal's best striker, and you know he's struggling on the left because he doesn't beat players and that. But he hasn't convinced me in the last year or so.
No,
like I said, the less said, the better. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
All right, Kojo. Let's go back to what you said about the whole Aubameyang playing on the left. Yeah, all right. Most of his goals came from the left. Put him in the middle, he won't get nothing. So the thing is, it's like either way, all right. We gave him that chance to be in the middle. He still won't get nothing. Put him on the left. Somehow he was banging in goals. I don't know what has happened. Ever since he signed the contract, all of a sudden it's just declined. It's unfortunate, all right. It's unfortunate that it's happened, but I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in the whole training regime and all that. I don't know. You know what I mean? We can't tell. We can only see what's in front of us. You see what I mean? Personally, all right, I like both of them. All right, I've always liked Lacazette.
You can tell, actually, to be fair.
Was that?
What? Say that again?
No, I was going to say, we have an Amazon Prime documentary coming out, so it will show us exactly what's happening
That's true, though. No, but it's true.
Arsenal this season.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends what kind of propaganda you're going to spew later on. Because if you're gonna bring in Jose, you're gonna get some heavy propaganda later on in the season. This is
Arsenal. But this is Arsenal, though. No matter what, Arsenal is gonna get some sort of criticism everywhere they go, anyway. All right,
they deserve that criticism.
Do they? So they win. But hold on, they win a trophy, they get criticised. Are you telling me that's deserved?
You're not getting criticised for winning trophy. You're getting criticised for finishing ninth.
No, I'm just giving you an example, though. Either way, they get criticised. Fair enough. Top four, they get criticised. Win, they get criticised. It doesn't matter. I
think it's because, like Man United, Man United is not more about criticism, more about just bantering when Man United are doing absolute trash. But I think with Arsenal, like, there was a downward turn that was coming bit by bit, and you know how fans cling onto comments like the whole top four is a trophy comment, for example, or people are waiting for us to fall out of the top four so they finish fifth and all that stuff. And then it was like, well, when it's not all Arsenal fans, but you know how fans are. One fan will say a League Cup, FA Cup don't matter no more, but when their club wins it, suddenly it means something. If one Arsenal fan says it represents all Arsenal fans. I think that's where the banter comes from. But the criticism is because more than anything, and rightfully so, you guys get onto your team hard, but they deserve it. It's facts. They deserve it. You guys have not been happy for a long time. Regardless of those FA Cup wins, you've been happy for a day or so because you won it. But in the whole picture, you have not been satisfied. You are not happy with how the club's been run. You have not been happy with how the club's been managed, and you're definitely not happy with how the players have performed, whether they're still here or not, have performed on the pitch for you guys. I think that's why you guys criticism of your club, of course, but when it comes from outside, I think you got to acknowledge it as well, because behind all agendas, forget agendas to the side, people that talk about the club and criticize it fairly, I think you can say you'd agree with them, no?
And also, it's to do with the stature of the club, you know, and what you've achieved in the past. There's much higher expectations for you guys than a West Ham who finished above you because you're Arsenal. And also, on top of that, there's expectations some of your own fans actually put on the club. I'm not saying you guys, but there are certain fans who always claim either a top 4 run or even a title charge every season when you're nowhere near it.
Yeah.
And that again, those expectations are set. And that's where all the criticism and all the backlash comes from as well. It comes from such a multitude of factors. It's a fuckery, really, if we're being honest. It's like just you got to be measured. You got to set yourself high standards, but equally you've got to realize there are steps to take to get to where you want to be. And a lot of your fans think you're going to be title challengers, and the other fans just think it's the end of the world, which it's not far off being the end of the world unless things change. But football fans are football fans. They're always we've got in our fan base too. It's just it's hyper polarization at the end of the day.
That's true. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anything else to add, Ashley?
Other than Arsenal is trash right now, that's about it.
That's what I end that discussion on. Thank God for that.
That's it. Simple.
Let's reconvene in 4 weeks when hopefully we get a victory against fucking Burnley. Yeah.
We'll see
watch
what
them
happens,
beat us
innit?
as well.
You know what? Yeah, just because the way Kill does not like Sean Dash. If Arsenal lose to Burnley, that might be.
But no, sorry, hold on. When I looked at Arsenal's first, what was it? Say like 5 games. I said to myself, "No, this is just set up for Arteta to just get sacked straight away." Like, no, seriously.
Let's hope it happens, innit?
Seriously, I saw the first 5. I was like, yeah, they just set this up so that Arteta could just get sacked early. Like, done. It's that simple, you know what I mean? That losing to was it Brentford?
Brentford, yeah.
That's just, what's funny, yeah? You know how I think it was Benji that mentioned about Arsenal losing to Aston Villa first game. I was at that game. And I went with a United fan as well to that game. All right, and I'm telling you now, that United fan could tell you what my face was like, literally. And all the Arsenal fans, like, literally, oh my gosh, mad. But yeah, I definitely remember that game though. Crazy.
Yeah.
No worries. All right.
Thank God we're done with that club for now anyway. What team is next? Let's go. Can we talk about Leicester for a bit? They are
Okay,
They're heading towards top 4 potentially. They won the community shield this year, FA Cup as well. They got the victory against Wolverhampton 1-0, a goal from Jamie Vardy. A typical Jamie Vardy finish. It's fantastic. Just got ahead of the defender, just absolutely finessed it into the back of the net. Were you expecting more from Leicester, Kojo? It's only 1-0, and this Wolves side is a very, very new, very fresh Wolves side.
No, because Wolves these players are going to try and impress their new manager. That's the first step, and they sign new players are trying to make an impression. So 1-0 doesn't surprise me. I think it should have even been 1-1 if I'm being honest. Adama Traore made one of those crazy runs. The guy's fast, man. Went straight down the middle, and then the finish was just what you also expect from Adama Traore, which is a damn shame. But no, truth be told, look, it's 1-0 is not a bad result, and I know you're not saying it's a bad result either, but it's not a bad result, and it's not a result that I thought as Wolves used to do more. I thought it's a good one. It's a good win. First league game of the season. Not every game is going to be a slapping. They will have games when they smack teams. Leicester are much more. They're very capable of it. So those times will come. But good win, good start. Vardy, typical goal. Patson Daka's there. Ian Nacho's there. Bro, they got goal scorers in abundance, and if they make money for this protracted, alleged Madison move, and they signed Vestergaard as soon as what's his name got injured, Fofana. if they want to lose thing as well, make money, I don't think it's a bad idea. So I think they should be fine. I think they'll be fine, and I think they can get top 4 this year. At whose expense? Let me not say anything before someone tries to click me.
No, I don't believe they can.
You don't think they can?
No, I think with just Leicester, it's like they always seem to get there, but then they capitulate, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? They just capitulate at some random time, and then they just don't make it to the top 4.
Why do you think they capitulate? What is it about getting over that final hurdle that just escapes them?
It's got to be something to do with Brendan Rodgers. I don't know. It's that I understand his intensity of and the level of how he wants his players, but I think they just burn out right at the end, and then all of a sudden, when the business time of the games come in, somehow Leicester just never gets that job done. It's unfortunate, really, but hey, I just don't think they'll get top 4.
Jack thoughts on Wolves. Obviously, Traore is in the side, and he does what he does. As a coach mentioned, he dribbles, and then when he gets to the final third, that's when he absolutely misses everything. But looking up, Jimenez is back. Martini and Neves are back together. Sarr seems to be a good acquisition as well. At goalkeeper, made a few impressive saves against Leicester. What's your expectation for Wolves this season? Are they going to impress like they did under your current manager, or is it simple? They might have to face a relegation battle.
I don't think they'll face relegation battle. I think over the weekend they played well enough to get a result. It was interesting what they did. They switched between the 3-4-3 and the 3-5-2. They had Jimenez and Traore up front as almost a strike pairing, and that worked to their advantage. And you saw, Dharma's physicality is just absolutely insane, and they have a set way and a precedent on how to play the bigger teams, the teams that will keep more of the ball. And I think they'll get some results against the top side still, just based on how they play and stylistically. So I think they'll get points from that, and I think they'll do all right. I mean, yet to see, new manager, who knows, but I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be solid mid-table this season. I think they've got the quality in the squad, and I don't think they've lost. Whilst Nuno has definitely elevated a few players, he got the best out of them. He's brought in the Jimenez, the Jotas of this world, and he's managed to get that. I think they'll continue. I think they'll be there and thereabouts mid-table, pretty much. I don't think they've lost that much quality on the pitch itself. They've still got Moutinho and Neves, who, even though Neves has fallen off a little bit, I still think they're still quality players, quality footballers who've got great ability. And Jimenez is back as well. Jimenez's sort of absence last season was a big reason why they didn't do as well as they did in previous seasons. So him being back is a big plus. It's like a new signing, as a lot of people would say. So I think they'll be all right. I don't think they'll be in trouble.
Chelsea 3, Crystal Palace 0. Goals from Marcus Alonso, Christian Pulisic, and Trevor Chalobah. Benji, let's get you back into this podcast. A lot of their top quality players were missing this game. Kai Havertz wasn't playing. Reece James wasn't playing. Who's still to come? Why are they favourites, or are City still a bit too formidable without Kane?
I mean, they're probably second favourites. Obviously, because they won the Champions League, so obviously you have to respect them for that. But at the same time, I still do feel like their midfielders are not consistent in the way they play. So, for example, the people behind Lukaku that are going to play behind him, they're not consistent. Werner, we don't know if he's going to get more than 2 goals, 4 goals this season. Kai Havertz, we don't know who's going to turn up. The B-Tech Riyad Mahrez as well, Hakim Ziyech, we don't know what he's going to say. There's a lot of them, and obviously who else is there? Pulisic is never fit. The only people that are consistent in the team is the 2 central midfielders, and they how long can they persist with this 3 at the back? How many games can Marcus Alonso play at left wing back? It's something else that also needs to be discussed. But they look like they will be well, and obviously with Lukaku, he's the big question mark because he did fail at Manchester United. He didn't do his best. Obviously, he went to Inter Milan and obviously he started getting excited and won the league. But now that he's back, it'd be interesting to see what he can actually do. And I also feel like the goalkeeping situation is a big question mark because Kepa, you all know about Kepa, and obviously Mendy is also not consistent as well. So their team was just full of inconsistent players. So we don't know what to expect on any given day. At least with City, we know, look, De Bruyne will turn up, Diaz will turn up, etc., etc. But with Chelsea, we really don't know what's going to happen.
I wouldn't worry about Lukaku. Honestly, Jose tax. That's all I'm saying. Jose tax. The guy clearly put him. He made it. I know Jose made him put 6 kilos on or whatever. I know Jose wanted to play him as a target. I know Jose wanted him to be a striker. He's completely not. Lukaku guarantees you goals wherever he goes. Jose tax was the only reason why he wasn't a success at Man United. That's all I'm saying.
You just made him stuck in that middle, innit?
Yeah.
It's funny thing though. I don't think he wasn't successful. I think he was kind of successful. No, he scored goals. My only criticism of him was in the big games, bar 2 of them. One against Madrid in the Super Cup, I think it was his debut, and the PSG comeback. His overall impact in big games was non-existent. Whether it was missing chances or just not being able to get into the game. That was my biggest issue with you. He went to Inter Milan, league champion. Again, big game record is a bit here and there. But he's come back with a big chip on his shoulder. And look how lean he's looking as well. He's looking like Everton Lukaku. So, and that Everton Lukaku was... There was nothing about big games there. He scored against anyone that wanted to get, you know? So, I think he's... If he gets the goals against the big games in the big games... He's looking at a 30-plus league goal season, let alone whole of season. So he's a force. He's a force. He's a great.
Everybody talks about Manchester City's depth and quality up top, but Chelsea aren't slouch anymore. I mean, Benji did call him the B-Tech Riyad Mahrez, but Christian is a quality player. Pulisic is there. Timo Werner, I think, will play much better on the left with a Lukaku up top. And also Callum Hudson-Odoi. So he's got, and in terms of right backs as well, Ben Chilwell and Reece James whipping in crosses for him. He's got a lot going for him at this Chelsea side, and if he gets on a lot of these crosses and these chances which Chelsea creates, I'm pretty sure they're definitely gonna be up there, and I think they might. I'm making them favourites to win the league this year.
Same.
You disagreeing, Ashley?
Nah, not favourites, man.
I don't know. I wouldn't go favourites though. But
so who would you call your favourites?
Do I have to say?
Yeah,
he's gonna say Arsenal, isn't it?
No, I'm not gonna say. Obviously, no. I'm not that deluded, but do I have to really say it?
Yeah, of course. It's a shout out thing, bro. Go on.
It's either Man City or Liverpool.
Damn.
Exactly.
Nah, not Liverpool.
There's me having it. The thing is, I don't want neither one of them to win it. But hey, you know what I mean? That you just got to look at it.
If City sign Harry Kane, it's game over. Oh my days.
Yeah. I will say that right now. If they get that transfer through, forget about Chelsea. Forget about Man United. Forget about Liverpool. Harry Kane at City, I give up.
That for me, that's a massive if. They spent 100 million on Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Do you seriously expect them to spend another 100? Everybody thinks it's 130, but I'm hearing reports that it's 160 million. Are they going to spend?
No, you have to remember, Cahill, they're going to sell as well. So obviously, people like Bernardo Silva are going to be sold if Kane comes in. There's quite a few players. They could probably sell 3 or 4 players to get that money back, but they need to go out and get a striker. They haven't had a world-class striker obviously Aguero was, but Aguero wasn't really world-class. He kind of dipped since like 2019. So Gabriel Jesus, whatever his name is, he's obviously not that guy. Unless they want to loan like Martial or something. But the way they're looking at the moment up front, they're just looking toothless. And if they don't get a striker, they might not even finish in the top 4, and I'm being deadly serious. Because every other team will have firepower up front, and they just don't have it. And you can't rely on De Bruyne. De Bruyne's 31, going to be 32. He's going to get injured again this season. So they need that striker.
Can't lie, I'm happy you said that because City and Liverpool have some players that are starting to age, and no one's really, no one really wants to talk about it. Mahrez is 30.
Liverpool
Asian FC.
Liverpool are on the right side of 30, though. They got like 28, 29-year-olds. Manchester City, on the other hand.
Salah and them man are touching 30, fam.
Mane is 30, and his hairline's growing as well. It's like their whole front line. Their whole front line, I'm telling you, mate, they're all 30. So James Milner, 35, 36. Blah, blah.
He's 38. I don't think he's really old.
That's why they can't high press anymore. They're old, man.
Yeah, James Milner's been playing since I was in primary school, man. That's how old he is. That's how long he's been about, man.
Right.
No, look at this one. Look at this one. Cavani's 60. Look.
But Manchester City not finishing in the top 4. Is that actually? No, we'll talk about that when we get to that game. We've still got one more game. We're talking about aging and hairlines. We're talking about Liverpool. They beat Norwich City 3-0 goals from Diego Jota, Roberto Firmino, and Mohamed Salah. I think they're on the right side of 30, and they're all currently at their peak. Yes, there are a few injury problems here and there. Yes, James Milner is fucking ancient, but you can't. I don't think you can count a team that has Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane leading the line.
As long as they have Salah up front, they'll find ways to win games. That guy is too troublesome. He's far too troublesome. He's a pure goal scorer as well, and that's what I love about him. Look, this Norwich game for me, I can't analyze too much because no matter the lineup, no matter if it's Paul Konchesky there, if it's Kyrgios, Luis Suarez, or Florence
Voronin.
Andre Voronin, bro. Listen, when it comes to Norwich versus Liverpool, Norwich are always going to receive these hands. They're going to get it. That's as simple as it gets. It's a one-punch knockout kind of thing. So when they came to this game, for me, it was, you know what's going to happen here. They had their chance, two shots actually. Pukki shot straight at Alisson. The other one, Alisson had to put off a save, like a double save quickly or something like that. And even at that time, I think it was already 2 or 3-0 anyway. So it's same old. That game, when it's Norwich versus Liverpool know what's happening. The fans that travel to that game, they know they're in for a goal fest. It's 3 goals minimum. If they wanted to, they'd ask Atletico to loan Suarez for a day, playing for that game and send him back, and it will be 6-0 instead. They deal with Norwich every time. But as a neutral, I'll try not to bring my United bias into it. As a neutral, those injuries would still concern me because I say it a lot now, but you have them with major injuries. Some of them have received them twice, like Joe Gomez. Matip, injury prone. Konate, good player, good signing, injury prone. And after Trent got injured for months, now Robertson's out. So it's Tsimikas, and then I don't know who's the backup for Trent. Fabinho he's not injury prone. I think he's okay. Henderson's injury prone.
He's goal scorer prone, no?
Yeah, definitely goal scorer prone. Someone else is goal scorer prone. You'll see it this season. Don't get gassed by the 1 goal he scored in the weekend. Certain box-to-box strikers. But yeah, honestly, I don't think they'll have a bad season. I just don't consider them in the title race because I think at some point they will get a lot more small injuries here and there, and then it will cost them at the wrong time.
And make excuses, yeah.
But
yeah, man.
Same old from Liverpool fans.
Since we're digging into old man FC, look, and also no one's coming into the club as well. They lost their best centre midfielder last season, and we don't know what Van Dijk is like. And the funniest thing is, all their 4 centre backs are injury prone. They just signed another injury prone centre back, so I don't understand what they're doing. Their left back is also injured as well.
Who, Trent?
Yeah, I mean, but I do feel like because they've been there, they've done it. They do have like that grace. But at the same time, I just feel like we can't rule out Salah and Mane. Those two at the top of their game, they're a match for anybody in the league. So, but at the same time, I still do feel like their midfield is a problem because we haven't spoken about Thiago as well. He's been a flop. But obviously, if he comes in and tries to do his tries to do his little 1-2s and that, then you never know what can happen. But I still do feel like Liverpool Liverpool will be up there, but a couple injuries, Van Dijk injury and a Salah injury, then they'll be finishing 8th or 9th for me personally.
Oh.
I hear it.
Then back to excuses.
I hear it because Salah's such a big player for them. But at the same time, if they can happen to keep all their players fit all season, like they have done in those 2 seasons where they were runners up and then won the league, if they get that kind of luck, there'll be challenges, 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But again, if we'll see what that injury has done to Van Dijk, we'll see what that, we'll see if he gets anything recurring or has any other fitness issues.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there you go. Let's move on to the big game, of course. Newcastle 2. I'm only joking. Sunday. Tottenham 1, the City 0. Stop it, bro. You're jumping on the bandwagon.
I am, bro. I'm blowing bubbles, fam.
Yeah, you should be supporting your actual team in Tottenham, and they beat Manchester City 1-0. Goal from Heung-min Son. Jack. Unexpected, I imagine.
I thought we were going to get slapped 5-0. I thought this was going to be I think a lot of us thought that, to be honest. But
yeah, I was hoping.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? That type of performance, that level of work rate, that pressing, and that that play of all of that combined with the transition.
Mute your phone, Ashley, man.
Oh, sorry. I do apologize. Sorry.
But yeah,
all done. Sorry about that.
All of that combined with the transitional play, that I haven't seen that since circa early 2018, I'd say. We stopped pressing even under Pochettino, and with the season we got to the Champions League final, that pressing game completely disappeared, and I think that was by design as well, because I think we didn't have the legs or the players for it. But we pressed, we fought, Oliver Skip, Højbjerg, monstrous in that midfield. Even Dele Alli's defensive traits, very good. He made the most tackles out of anyone, I think, in that game. Bergwijn, who is absolutely cack, right? He's shit, but he worked hard, and that result, it paid off. Every single player had to be on point for us to get anything out of that game, and they were. And Lucas Moura was brilliant in that game, absolutely brilliant. And I just feel that I want to get rid of him. I wanted to get rid of him, but if he can keep having performances like this, where we know he could, there's a reason why, Man United and PSG fought for him. When he first arrived at PSG as well, what he was doing in the Champions League games, busting through players in the midfield. This guy can do it. He's just not consistent, and he's quite brain dead at times. And Man City should have scored 1 or 2 beforehand, but no striker. That's what happens. Dyer and Sanchez keeping the clean sheet. I don't know what kind of judge we did, but whatever it was, I'm glad we did it, because
it was the 12th man, to be fair. Like the fans, with the fans behind that team, you can actually feel the energy from those players to actually make sure, work hard, don't concede. You know what I mean? Like go at them. So you can actually see it. It was the fans being the 12th man.
Yeah, and the South Stand was packed. That South Stand looked amazing on that day. Yeah, like the fans were incredible, and that on top of that, you got the fitness as well. The fitness training that Nuno's actually got the players doing. But I don't think we've had that for a very long time. And Jose Mourinho, we said this off camera, but Jose Mourinho does not coach fitness. He doesn't do fitness training sessions. He doesn't do intensive fitness training sessions. He focuses on keeping your shape, holding your shape, and playing on transition. It's just refreshing to see, Tottenham Hotspur working hard, because I haven't seen that in such a long time. And then Son with the finish. I mean, it's quintessential Son, cut in, bang, corner. That's what he does. And yeah, but the best performer of the day, actually, Tanganga. Yep. Absolutely. He's got this performance in him. He loves a big game. He did that with Sadio Mane as well. He locked him up completely when the season Liverpool won the title, and we lost the game, but he was a standout performer for us. and he does have that. He has that performance in him, and yeah, I just feel I still think he's a centre back by trade. Because going forward, you saw some of the switches of play where he couldn't control that ball for shit. But defensively, to lock down two players like that, this kid, man, I love this kid, and I'm so glad he's not going
where do you think you'll finish, like in the league? Where do you think you'll finish?
I said 8th at the beginning of the season, and I'll probably I'll stick with that. I'll stick with that for now because whenever Man City come to White Hart Lane, they get slapped, or not a slap, but beaten.
At least you came with a reasonable position for Spurs. A certain Spurs fan last season was chatting on radio talking about that they're going to win the league. Until this day, he has not explained himself. I don't know where. I'm not going to name. He knows who he is. So if he sees
to bring him on at some point,
you know who I'm talking about. He's been on here He's been on many times. Until this day, yeah, right. He hasn't really explained himself on that, you know. So
everybody wants that at him, you know. I don't know what he's.
Bro, everyone is on his neck.
No. But the way this guy, all right, convincingly came on either your show or another show and actually said, yeah. Everything is light work. Spurs are winning the league. Did he not say that? All right. Yeah, he said that, and then
he said it on four shows.
On how many? Yeah, exactly. So he said it on so many occasions, all right. And then the position that they came, mate, he's still about, but then he wants to dodge the question.
Well, to be fair, Mr. Best, I mean, you never know what can actually happen. I think with Tottenham, because they're not in Europe, they do have they are in
some sort of Europe, you know.
We're in
Conference League, baby.
I mean, like real Europe. They're not really. They can play the under-23s and that probably win. What I'm saying is that they can play their best 11 in the league and rest their players for the whatever competition they're in. So what that does is like when Liverpool played in 2013-14 and they were able to just play one game a week. Your players are always fresh. The players are always energetic. When it comes to Christmas, you're gonna win. At least you should win more games than everyone else. So you never know. Like, obviously, if they sell Harry Kane, if I was them, I'll sell Harry Kane for 150 million, getting another winger, getting Aouar for 25 million, even getting Odsonne Edouard. The squad kind of improves a bit more in a sense overall, and then they can at least try and do something. But with the whole Harry Kane question mark, we don't know how to assess Tottenham for the season. But for me personally.
Yeah, and we need another centre back. Romero, you know, we've got him, but we still, I still, even though Milinkovic, I want Milinkovic at the club because he's just an improvement on what we have currently. And
are you sure?
What? You're an Eric Dyer fan, yeah?
We wasn't a signing.
We can definitely make your club.
Don't forget.
Listen,
we want to sign for 60 million. Never forget that.
Boy, I can't believe we didn't even take that. Honestly, Jose wanted him.
Wait, they offered you 60 million.
It wasn't 60, but
it was close enough.
Like 50, 60.
It was close enough. It was close enough. Yeah.
He was going to come and reinvent our team, English quota and that. But
that's crazy. But let's get into the meat and bones of Tottenham now. 2 weeks left in the transfer window. Harry Kane is still the question. He wasn't fit enough for Sunday's game. He also missed a couple of training sessions, but yeah, he's a saint and a more professional. Is he going to Manchester City? Because I still can't see it. Because there was also talks that he's looking to come back, and he's training right now, and he's looking to come back into the squad. Jack,
I think he needs to go for the betterment of sort of the medium term of the club. Essentially, we can't keep holding on to someone who's not going to win anything because it's pointless. But there's a bit of an echo. But
no, it's fine.
Yeah. I just feel we need to just focus on the bulk of the first 11. I think if we can get someone like a Vlahovic or even a Lautaro, we offered 90 million euros for Lautaro, and I think even though I don't think he's worth that, I don't think he's worth that per se, but we need a strike. We do need a striker, and I think we need to invest in that. You know, an Aouar, like you said, and another centre back, and even a DM. I think having Skip as a squad player strengthens us massively because, you know, whilst he played well, and we, you know, Norwich, he was getting man of the match right, left, and centre last season. I still think putting him alongside proper DMs. I don't think Yorbia is a proper DM. I think he's a box to box. Because when you see him when he's further up the pitch, he does affect the game. He can affect the game. So having a proper DM, someone that just sits there, protects that back four, and then you can have a wide player or a striker or an attacking midfielder that can facilitate that. Our front three. I think that will help, and obviously it's another centre back because as well as Dyer played, I can't trust him.
Benji, do you keep Kane at this point?
Benji.
He's not with us, so I'll go to
No, I agree with Jack. It's the same. I agree with Jack. It's the same with the Gareth Bale thing.
Benji?
Yeah, it's the same with the Gareth Bale thing. I feel like they need to invest in properly and get proper players in. Not like the Mellors and just this Vlahovic guy that they're talking about. Only God knows who he is. They need to actually sign proper players into the club. But my problem with Tottenham is that they keep going for players that don't want to come. And then now these players are signing new contracts like Lautaro Martinez. Like our plan was for Martial to have another good season. They're swapping for Martinez next season. But you guys keep coming in and disturbing our transfer plans. Can you just stop that for a second? I beg of you. But all jokes aside, I feel like if you get 100 to 160 million, mate, you can get 4 players in and Tottenham becomes a better team. I think football is all about having a director of football, and they have a very good director of football. And the guy that's looking for players and the transfers, he really will use the money correctly. It's not like how they were using it before with Vlad Kirikes and co. They'll use it on proper players and be able to improve the overall squad. So I feel like they should sell him ASAP, because if next year they don't sell him, no one's going to want Harry Kane because Haaland's on the market. That's how football is. Like, once a new player comes onto the scene, Mbappe will be on the market as well. But once a new player comes on the scene, he'll be there. He'll get 30 goals a season for the rest of his life, and then he'll just retire, and it'll be like Paul Gascoigne, like a legend with no trophies. Like, he should just... I say to Daniel Levy, I want to leave. Man City swatted a bid, and Tottenham can move on from the situation.
Paul Gascoigne won the FA Cup, by the way. Let's be with us. So,
Sure. Congratulations.
Well, I'm just correcting. I'm just stating facts. But anyway,
if you can be neutral in this, what do you take? You either keep Harry Kane or you take the potential 150, 160 million.
Well, I actually spoke to one of my Spurs colleagues actually about it, and I said, well, I thought you were going to say
you spoke to Harry Kane for a second.
No. And even my neighbor actually, who is a Spurs fan, for them, they just want the whole deal sorted out. For me, I said I would rather Kane stay at Tottenham. I don't know. It's something about Man City that just wouldn't really suit his play. I understand Man City, they will create chances, but it's just something about it that just doesn't set up for him. And I think Tottenham really sets up for him. It's unfortunate that they just not won anything. You know what I mean? That's kind of shameful of me actually saying that as an Arsenal fan. But but it's a shame that Tottenham haven't won anything, especially with the actual players that Tottenham do have. You know what I mean? So for me, I would rather he stayed. But if Tottenham can get that bid out of Man City, you know what I mean? Like since they beat Man City on Sunday, and they know that Man City needs a striker, they just basically said, look, the price of the brick has gone up. You know what I mean? Simple as, you know.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, so you need to pay up, you know what I mean? So it's that simple. It's that simple, you know.
I disagree with him not being a sort of Man City type player. I think his versatility in what he can do suits a false nine role, and I think that he can drop and he can get the forwards to move inside, the Sterlings and the Fodens and whatnot. and I think they can get a lot more goals if Pep can get, if he drops deep and he plays those balls in that he can do, and on top of that he can make those late runs in, score, because that's what he's been doing for the past 7 years.
Quick question. Just I know it's off topic, but was Phil Foden in the lineup? Just out of curiosity. Against.
Hey! We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again.
One more question. We have one more question about Tottenham, and we'll come to you about that.
No. I just answered the question. I know.
Don't joke. I'd say we're probably Nuno's biggest fans, to be honest with you. I am certainly, even though he has gone to Spurs. Was it unfair for him that this negative energy from to be honest, the Spurs fans, a lot of them, was given to him before he even stepped foot in the place?
Yeah, I think it was unfair. I think, firstly, they judged him off the season that Wolves had, and Wolves didn't have a great season last year. Let's just make that clear right now. It wasn't a good year. But I always argue that they're very strict in Wolves in the terms of the players that he's able to bring in kind of restrict what he's able to do. It's either they're Portuguese or they're very close to being Portuguese. It's one way or another, with one or two exceptions here or there. Like I think Cody was there before he even joined Wolves, so that's one exception to the rule. But other than that, he's gone. Trincão's been brought in, and then Semedo was brought in, and it's like there is no. So you're buying players that don't allow him to broaden his tactics. Now that he's come in, the players that he's brought in are very different. And the way he's playing already, he didn't go to a back five despite having Doherty, who he knows very well. He could have used that formation to get the best out of him and try and use that. He didn't do that. He stuck to a back four, put Tanganga there, brought Oliver Skip into the midfield straight away, which I want to say, firstly, good for him because Mourinho was actually bigging him up last year as well, saying that he really likes Oliver Skip. But obviously, he sent him on loan, didn't have the confidence in him to play first team football. Nuno's giving him that chance and he shunned, And to be fair, look, I think any manager, when they come into a situation where the key man is looking to leave, that's a very difficult situation. I think he's dealt with it very well. He was asked a question about Harry Kane. He said, listen, this is one of the best players in the world.
Yeah,
but he's going to go training.
Really well, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, he's going to go training, and then he should be back in the team. Very simple, very easy. I think what he's done very well is he's just not engaged in any negativity at the club. You haven't heard any comments from him about Kane. He's just gone with training. He's got the team ready. He's got them focused. And, but in football, we live in the here and now. And what it is that when fans see what's happened with Wolves in the last year and how he used Neves, and I get that frustration, but I also look at that Wolves side and I say, what more can you do with that team before you find their limit? And that was their limit. That's why he walked out. He wasn't sacked. He left.
Yeah.
He said, my time's done here. It's time for me to go. He left, and now he's going to a better club with less restriction. As tough as Levy is with transfers, he'll have a better time with Levy just because there's no restriction on the kind of players they can bring in. You're talking about now apparently they're being linked with Nahit Hernandez from Syria. That's a good signing. For me personally, I think that's a good signing. It's a good player, another midfielder, has more bodies in there, more depth. Paratisi's coming. Sissoko's looking for another club already. All these players that they could have held on to are slowly being drifted out. And if it's Sam Milenkovic, you're not going to see much of Eric Dyer. It's going to be Romero and probably Sanchez, who had a great game, or Romero. And if Milenkovic comes in, if not him, you can put Tanganga there. You can put Doherty right back. It's variety. So cut him some slack. I think he's going to do very well for Tottenham. I think he's going to do very, very well for Tottenham. So he's a good manager. I rate him just as much as you do, to be honest. And I think that's why you're gutted that he didn't join Arsenal, because you've wanted to join Arsenal for a while.
Long time. But he's at our rivals now, and we can only cry about it. Anyway, Manchester City. There's a certain £100 million man that looked like he was worth £10 million against Tottenham Hotspur. What went wrong for Jack Grealish?
I know. I think he's finding his feet, to be fair.
You think he's finding his feet?
Yeah, I don't think he's finding his feet. What? He's only played, 2 games? You know what I mean? He's coming from Aston Villa.
Here's the thing with that comment, which I don't like. There's certain players that cost a lot of money that aren't allowed to find their feet. He's the most expensive player in Premier League history. It should be pick up the pad and go play. You should out the gate straight away, in my opinion.
I understand what you're saying, all right, and I totally agree with you. But at the same time, it's like you got to kind of look at from what team he's gone from to what team he's gone to now. You see what I'm saying? I understand the expectations, but at the same time, he's got to find it's like he's got to transform himself again into this team now. You know what I mean? Like different tactics, different regimes, and everything. You see what I mean? Fair enough. He was the main man at Aston Villa, and now he's come to Man City. He's not necessarily the main man. He's just another player at this team. Think about, you see what I mean? So, for example, think of is it Ray? Oh, I can't be that. What's his name?
Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, Riyad Mahrez. All right, main man at Leicester. He came to Man City. Everyone was calling him a flop, but he was just there trying to find his feet. Now, all of a sudden, he's now a player that's that first name probably on the sheet. You see what I mean? So so that's what it is. He just needs to find himself, and then he just needs to transform into that type of player that Pep has seen in him and wants to be in this team.
I think for me, he's in a very problematic situation where, number one, whether he plays on the left or in the middle, there's always going to be a crowded situation. Him and Sterling he was in Sterling's space a lot. For me personally, I didn't like that. I didn't like watching that. That's not a vendetta on him. Putting all that soon as BS to the side of 100 million players and what they should do. He was, because it's BS. Facts, it's BS. But you know what he was doing was always drifting off to that side. So there was a bit of a unbalance when they were going forward. Sterling didn't know where to go. Sterling would then come to the middle sometimes. He'd be so far left at Grealish. He wasn't finding any rhythm. Now, he started off the game really well, like City did. He was bursting into the box. He was trying to create trouble. He got a foul that was just outside the box as well. So could have been a penalty if he took one step further. He started off well, but what happened was, as soon as Tanganga got a hold of that left side, he didn't know what to do himself anymore. And the reason why he kept on crowding Sterling is because at Villa, he has that right license to roam down the left and down the middle as much as he wants. So that for me in lies a problem already. My question was, when he first was linked, was do they need him and what for? I don't know what he adds to that team. Just honestly speaking, he doesn't make them better in terms of quality, in my opinion. He doesn't make them more efficient, in my opinion. And he doesn't fit what City you're trying to do, because bar Riyad Mahrez, not most of the players in that team dribble to crazy levels. And he's someone that always slows the game down. He wants to get players so close to him before he either beats them or he takes it back and passes it. I just didn't know I don't know if he clicks in that team. So I feel like that lies in the problem. I don't think it's an issue of him finding his feet. He's a Premier League player going to another Premier League club. He's going to learn Pep's way of playing. He's going to have to adapt to it. The question is if he can adapt. If he adapts and he finds a different way to play into that team, and he becomes one of those players that, for me,
I agree, man.
Yeah, he'll forever be a squad player in that squad for me. Because that's what Mahrez is a quality player. He's a squad player. Bernardo Silva's a quality player. He's a squad player as well. Kevin De Bruyne is the only one that's not a squad player. And Ruben Diaz. And what's the other one's name?
Cancelo.
Yeah. Not even him. I say Ederson as well. And Cancelo, add him to that as well. And Kyle Walker, when he's back to fitness, right back is his. But the rest of them, especially in that midfield, you're going to rotate. Fernandinho Rodri, Gundogan, Foden. It is going to be like this all the time. Me personally, I don't think it was a good move on his part. I don't think it's going to work out for him in terms of being a key man. I don't think he will ever be a key man at City. But at the same time, I don't know. What I've seen with him and Sterling.
But Kojo, I think there's bigger problems though. I'm not gonna lie. I think that left back. Oh my
Mendy.
Gosh, man.
Oh my
I can't believe he
goodness.
still plays for the club. What's his name? Benjamin Mendy.
Hey, no, listen. Your name is Benji. Don't even give me first name.
Like,
let's call him Mendy.
They should have just got a left back. I don't know why they didn't buy a left back. That's the biggest. Like if it's Football Manager, I'm taking over Man City and I have a transfer budget. I'm just signing a left back. I'm not doing anything else. Like I don't see the need for another dribbler and centre mid with nice hair. They already have Foden to do that. Like they should have went out and got maybe Grimaldo, Gaia, a proper left back, and then we'll be talking business. But Mendy at left back, he's a 2 out of 10 every game. Like literally 2 out of 10. One cross here and there, but he's a 2 out of 10 guy. Like, yeah, but I don't really care about them anyway. But they should have signed a left back.
No, I agree because in the transfer at the beginning they were linked with Nuno Mendes of Sporting, and that was hurting me because he had a great year. They won the league. He was a key part of that. A young guy, Balls love this Portuguese, but a good young talent. And I was thinking if they sign him and add an extra striker, which we thought would be Harry Kane directly, then we're in trouble. I actually agree with that because Mendy and Ake, Jesus Christ, Ake. I hate players that are centre backs that can't defend. I don't like that. I just don't like it. So ask KO. For anyone that watched the commentary, as soon as Son went with him, it was step over. We didn't even talk about Ake because we didn't. There was no protection from Ake. There was none.
What I said, coach, by the way.
What do you say?
Don't worry, then it's fine.
Oh damn! But no, I just that left side is a disaster. So what? Was it going to be? What, Zinchenko? They have to wait for Zinchenko to come back, an attacking midfielder.
I mean, he's
that's
back.
playing left back.
I think he plays. He's obviously. I think he's their best left back.
He is. Yeah. But again, that's poor that your attacking midfielder is your best left back when you've got a natural left back that you bought for millions in that position. And okay, the less said, the better. They need John Stones back or Laporte, whoever they want to put next to Diaz. So, yeah, but they deserve to lose this game. Spurs were better from start to from 15th minute to end.
20 minutes onwards. Yeah, definitely.
If Jack, they don't get Harry Kane, which I don't think is anywhere near likely. Is this false nine business going to succeed for a second time?
It can't last again. Last season, again, it's always an exception. Last season, all the other teams were inconsistent as hell. The Man United's, Chelsea's, Liverpool's, the level of consistency, the results that these teams were getting, every game just seemed like a banana skin almost. It just seemed like a potential banana skin. You looked at that fixture and thought, they could draw this. It's not getting none of. There was a point in the season where we just thought every game they could win it, but they might not win it. There wasn't a guaranteed win for the teams below Man City for any game at that point. I don't think it will happen this season though, because I think Chelsea and United have strengthened so much. They've got that fight. They've got that focal point up front as well. That you're going to get, those two teams will get results against the smaller teams. They'll get a good run of results, and which they weren't getting last season. And City won't be able to get away with that because you remember their start to the season as well. So they're not going to get away with that kind of start again, definitely. And without a striker, boy, I don't know how they're going to perform in big games as well, because if teams do park the bus, if teams do shut up shop and play with a low block and very much organised, again, you saw their finishing, the two chances they had, they fell to Cancelo and Mahrez. Mahrez is a good striker. He's a good striker with the ball. He's a good, he's a decent finisher, but he's not a centre forward. He's not a striker for a reason. And when chances are falling to these players, that's what happens. Ferran Torres, even, so, he's not a centre forward. You want a focal point. You need that focal point, and City need him. City need Kane badly now, I think, if they want to reclaim that title.
I think we shall wrap that up there. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining us. But of course, we need to find out where they can find you. We'll start with you, Jack. Where can they find you?
Yep, every Thursday at Spurs_touchline. Just follow us on Twitter. We always have a pod. We are the new Spurs order. So, we're gonna, there's big things coming, there's a variety of opinions, from positive to negative. It don't matter. But we don't take any crap from dumb fans, from idiot fans, and from racists and from scum. So we'll call them all out on that pod and on our account.
Speaking on that, was I think Brentford as well. The applause for Bukayo Saka, Spurs as well during that friendly. The applause there, it was wonderful to see. So Spurs, well done, and Brentford, well done. Ashley, where can they find you?
They can always find me on Twitter, at the best one, THABESTONE 89. Always, hit me up. anything about football. Most of the time, people are always laughing at me because of Arsenal. But then, most of the time, you have me making comments about any other team, and then just to get on your nerves. So I'm there, So if you wanna have that little conversation with me, I'm there. You can just hit me up on Twitter.
Just
I'm always there chatting.
Just don't make any excuses.
Hey, look, there is never excuses made. All right, never excuses. All right.
He's got no time for them.
I have no time for excuses.
Fair enough. Benji, where can they find you? It takes him a minute.
Nowhere with that internet, boy.
It takes him a minute. Maybe not. Anyway, Kojo, where can they find Benji? Let's...
Oh no, he's gone.
Now you're
mute. You're muted.
No, you're muted. No, we can't hear him.
Jesus Christ, this is great. Sorry. You can find Benji enjoying life in West Africa right now, living life. Sun, plenty of jollof, fufu, yam, banku, all of it. Yeah, dropping all of them, plantain, all of it. Yes, he's killing food right now. And also, you can find him on Ben_Adeyemi. Adeyemi. Ben_Adeyemi on the Twitter.
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
There we go.
There you go.
And Kojo, where can they find us?
You can find us right here on YouTube, 3inMidfield Podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts, 3inMidfield. And of course, Instagram as well, 3inMidfield, and TikTok, 3inMidfield, where I'm about to drop a masterpiece. And in advance, KO, I apologize.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
This has been another episode of the 3inMidfield Podcast. Good night.